Hello and welcome to the Should You Buy for the Thanatos. We're going to take a look at the mech, its concept art, its stats, its hardpoint location, and possible hitboxes to see whether or not you want to buy this mech and whether or not you should buy it. But to start off, oh my god, the nostalgia. We're getting into some of this MechWarrior 4 stuff, which is the most recent in my memory when I'm talking about mech nostalgia, with the Uzil and those kind of things from the last package. But now the Thanatos. I played with this mech in MechWarrior 4 so much, and it looks beautiful with the MechWarrior Online treatment. Looks so much more like strong and bulky, like it could actually punch somebody's face off. But let's go take a look at the packages down below. We have the standard and collector's pack. Like normal, they are $20 and $40 respectively. They come with 3 variants as well. The special variant with 30% C-build boost in the collector's pack, and this very interesting camo pattern. I'd really love to see what the color channels are on that and how I can change those colors, because I think that one might look kind of psychedelic if you use some fancy stuff to it. Premium time, we got 30 days in the standard pack, 60 days in the collectors, as well as, the cockpit items and titles and badges, as, if you care about those little cosmetics. With the hero and reinforcement add-ons, they're $15. The hero being called the Hangover, and the reinforcements being the 5S and the 5T. We'll take a look in the stats to see if those particular mechs are pay to win or pay to optimize, but going from what I've seen already, I not really have that many concerns about that with this package. And then the Ultimate Pack, $70, which is just everything added together. I still wish they would cut this by $5 or $10 by saying, hey, you're getting everything at once. Thank you for being a loyal customer. Here's a little bit of money off from getting the Ultimate Pack. It would be nice. We don't require it, but every single time, I'm going to say that it would be a nice thing to do to get people to move up to the Ultimate Pack instead of just picking and choosing exactly what they want. And then early adopter rewards, you have until the 31st of August, and the mech ships on November 14th, but the earlier adopter rewards are all pretty much cosmetics, which is some colors and decals and patterns and such. So if you don't care about the cosmetics, you can wait to see how the mech performs in-game before you purchase it, and see what the quirks are and stuff like that. You don't really have to care about this early adopter rewards for gameplay purposes. It's not like the Marauder 2C, which had an actual mech in the early adopter rewards, and basically if you were liking the thing, you should have gotten the early adopter, because it actually changed the gameplay of it. But moving down to the specs, this is a 75-ton inner sphere battle mech. We have the ability to take out a massive engine with max engine rating of 400 for the 4S, which is the special version if you get the collector's pack, and the hero, and the rest of them being at 360. For 75 tons, that's quite high, and that's going to get you moving fairly fast with this design. Also, in terms of value, there's a lot of XL and light engines across these mechs, so you might not have to spend that much on equipping these things if they already come with these expensive engines, which is good for a C-bill value. That is a really nice thing to have instead of a whole bunch of standard engines and some weird rating that you're probably just going to sell in the future. But then also, every single one of them have jump jets. Up to, what is this, across the board, 5 max jump jets, which means every single one can jump, and also every single one can take ECM. So they're all sneaky little jumping 75 tonners with high engine max. This is so far the perfect storm for a battle mech. And unfortunately, we have so much stuff above them, you don't really need the mask capability, but none of them can take it. But let us pop over to the Spreadsheet Warrior, and we'll talk about how much this mech can carry and which upgrades and engines I would probably recommend for it. Now, the Thanatos is 75 tons, and you're probably going to want to do your engine ratings in these sort of steps. We got the 280, which has the brake where you have a higher rating than the 275, but it's no extra weight. So 280, 300, 325, then these are the heatsink in engine breakpoints. The 350, the 375, and the 4. We've done that for the XL, the Lite, and the standard engine. I think most likely you're going to want to have at bare minimum a 300 on this thing. 69.7, just shy of 70 kilometers an hour, is enough. That's if you're going to be pushing with the team. You're always going to be sort of trying to push the front lines. You don't really have the speed to flank, but you have enough to not fall behind. It's not like you're an assault mech who's going 59. That's where you start being like, team, wait up for me. With 70 kph, that's enough. If you want to go a bit faster, moving up to a 325 would get you 75.5 after tweak, or a 350 would get you 81.3. And that's way more than enough when it comes to speed. 75.5 or 81, you can keep up with the front lines, you can keep up with the slower mediums, so and you're a 75 tonner, so that's a fair amount of speed for it. But when it comes to engine choice, like with his XL, I do have concerns. If I pop back over here and go back up to the concept art, we can see these very large side torsos for the mech. So I do not believe that this will be XL safe in any means. This is going to be primarily a light engine mech. You're going to have the weight in order to take the light engine and not worry about needing an XL in order to get your payload space to do something with it. So most likely I'm going to see this mech being in the lights. Now you can go standard, you can be a zombie, but I feel that it's just going to be too much weight taken up, doing silly things there, too much weight taken up with the engine in order to get a viable payload. So what I see with this mech is most likely light 300 or light 325 in order to get 36.06 tons or 31.56 tons. So about 30 to 35 tons of free space, depending on how you want to do it. I'm choosing to have endo without any type of ferro here, as you're going to want the 31 slots, being able to put in double heat sinks and such. And it's the problem with inner sphere mechs and their customization is that their endo and ferro take up much larger spaces. So if I put ferro on this thing, I would only have 17 slots left, and you can't really do much with 17 slots, specifically if you're trying to take energy weapons and need the space for double heat sinks. Now there may be some situations where light ferro would work, but I'm just going to assume that you can find a build where endo and standard ferro, standard armor works out. But yeah, that's what I'm probably going to see with this thing. I'm going to probably equip all of mine with sort of light 325s, light 300s, maybe a light 280 if I'm doing more of a defensive role, like if I make a community warfare drop deck where I have a defense deck that's entirely focused on holding a position. 65 kph is more than enough in that sense, where I only need to maneuver slightly to defend a base, then I can get that extra few tons out of my mech. But let's pop back over and look at the stats here, which, there we go, line everything, and starting off with the 4S. Now these are battle mechs, so they can't change their hard points, so we're looking at them going down here. This thing has 2 energy in the left arm, left torso has an energy and the ECM. ECM in all of left torsos, so I'll basically gloss over it for the future now. And then right torso energy and right arm to missile. Not a lot of hard points for a 75 tonner. It's only 4 energy and 2 missile. You have the same quantity of hard points unlike a Cicada, like the Cicada X5. So you're gonna have to put in some large weapons here. You have to put in like large pulse lasers, like 4 large pulse will work on this thing, or say 2 large MRMs in the arm and some large pulse and medium laser combos in the torsos. Something along those lines in order to make this one work, or some quantity of, say, heavy PPCs and SRMs. But it's going to work. The only downside on this first one is that it's just a little hardpoint starved. I'd like to see one more hardpoint on there, maybe one more missile. That'd be kind of cool. But moving on to the 4P, really interestingly on this one, we have 2 ballistic in the left arm, and there's only the upper arm actuator. And this is big because having that lower arm actuator gone from that arm means that we can put an AC-20 in the arm. And that changes everything about how this mech plays. Not only can we do the AC-20, we can also do dual UAC-5s. So, you can take that, put dual UAC-5s in there. You got left and right torso energy, which are probably going to be relatively high compared to the rest of the mech. Put a couple PPCs in there, put dual UAC-5s in the arm. Bam, you're kicking ass with a PP UAC-5 volley type design. I think this one's going to be very strong, the 4P, and I'm happy that we have that ability to do that ballistics in the standard package with that lower arm actuator being gone. If the lower arm actuator was not, was there and we couldn't do the dual UAC-5s or AC-20s, I would be a lot more concerned about this, because the other ballistics are in the reinforcement pack. But because that lower arm actuator isn't there, I'm less concerned, because you can do dual ballistics in a very nice capacity with the 4P and put out some massive damage with it. But on to the 5P here, this one is kind of like your missile design for the standard package. You have a ballistic and a missile in the left arm, a missile in the left torso, missile in the right torso, and 3 energy in the right arm. So if you wanted to go for, you know, standard LRM type design, you could do like 3 Learn 15s or 3 20s across the mech, because they are in different spots, so they can have these large missile racks in there. You could also go for large amounts of MRMs and maybe like an LB-10 with that ballistic, kind of have a splat design. Or you go like triple Artemis 6s, an LB-10, some pulse lasers in that left arm, an ECM, and a big engine. You can make sort of a pushy type brawler with it. So this one's pretty cool. You have enough missiles spread out that you can do a few large launchers, where in the reinforcement pack you have a variation where you can do multiple smaller launchers. It's some aspects, the 5T is a little bit of a an upgrade on this one, but it has trade-offs. This one has the ballistic, which makes it interesting, where this one just pure missile, but we'll get to that in a moment. The 5S, we have the 2 energy in the left arm. The really cool part, 2 ballistic, 1 in each side torso, and then the 2 missile in the right arm. Now, even if we discount the 2 energy in the left and the 2 missile in the right, just to ignore them, we have 2 large ballistics in the side torso. So this is where you can do your dual Gauss, you can do your dual, could you even fit dual heavy Gauss? Maybe if you took a tiny little engine, it probably wouldn't be that good on it, but if you wanted to, you could meme strat on dual heavy Gauss, you could do dual UAC-20s, you could dual racks, you could do all sorts of stuff with those ballistics in the side torsos, because you have the space to do it, along with, say 2 UAC-10s and some missiles, or dual UAC something and some energy weapons to back it up. This, you know, it's going to be a better ballistic version than the 4P, but it's going to be just different. It's not like the 4P is any particularly worse. If this was only a single ballistic, or if this had the lower arm actuator, I'd be more concerned. But because this one has the ability to do some good stuff, I'm less concerned about having this ballistic side torsos in the reinforcements. Then onto the 5T, we have missiles everywhere. We got 2 in each arm, and we got 1 in each torso, for a total of 6. Now, what is this thing? It's either going to be one of 3. It's going to be splat with a bunch of SRMs and a large engine like a 350 light and just a bunch of CERM 6s or something like that, or it's going to be MRMs, or it's going to be a missile boat of some LRM kind. So you're going to sit back and you're just going to LRM from a distance with like a whole bunch of LRM 10s or something like that, or it's going to get MRMs. it's a kind of a one-trick pony in that sense. It's kind of unfortunate in my mind that it just has missiles. Maybe it would have been better if it had some combination. If maybe these missiles in the torsos were energy and it had 2 missiles in each arm, then it could have been like, oh yeah, we have some pulse lasers and splat. I don't know, that's just me. Overall, it's going to be very effective because you can get this thing going quite quickly with like a 350 engine, and it's going to have ECM, so it's going to be able to sneak in behind you, and it's going to have jump jets, so it's going to come from angles that you're not expecting. Then all of a sudden, you're going to have like 6 CERM 6 on your ass, and it's going to rip you to shreds. So it's going to be effective in that sense. And then finally, the hangover, the hero. We have the 400 max engine, so it's going to be the fastest out of them all comparatively, well, the 4S matching it. This one is the energy boat design for the Thanatos. It's got 2 energy in the left arm, 1 in the left torso, 1 in the center torso, and 1 in the right torso. So a total of 5 energy in total, along with, very interestingly, 5 missile in the right arm. And that comes with 70 rocket stock. We have 4 times rocket 15 and 1 times rocket 10. Which, ow, that really hurts if you landed that. But, you know, it's a one-shot, so probably won't be doing that. Most likely I see people trading this off for 5 CERM 4s, or CERM 6s and 4s in some combination, or multiple MRM 10s. Something along those lines. And then combining it with, say, ER medium lasers across the torsos, or maybe medium pulse, some kind of faster SRM brawly type thing. So if you don't get the reinforcement pack, and you don't want to use the 5T for to have sort of a missile brawl, you can just get the hangover, and you would have those missiles. Downside is they're all in one arm, so if that arm gets taken off, a lot of your missiles are out of the fight. However, if you are good at shielding, you can twist away, hide the arm, keep it healthy, twist back, fire off your missiles, and get a nice volley out of it. But moving up to the top here, after we talking about all those details, we're going to take a look at the concept art, hardpoint placement, possible hitboxes. Now, you've already touched on the hitboxes when we talked about the engines, the fact that those side torsos are quite large. But we can see with the weapon placement, it's a little low. We have the missiles here in the side torsos. They are below cockpit level, and as well as the arms on either side. So you are going to have to expose more of your mech than you'll feel like you have to, because you'll be able to see your opponent, but you'll be shooting into the dirt unless you take another couple steps. You're going to have to get and expose your entire torso and able to fire on them. And it's not that bad, really. It would, of course, would have been better if these this energy hardpoints were, say, right up here, and then it would be like, yes, that's perfect. But it's not that bad. I mean, I see more of the Thanatos instead of being sort of this long-range snipey type platform. For me, it feels like a pusher. It feels like I'm going to strap on a bunch of SRMs, such as with the hangover, the hero here, with this great big missile arm, and I'm just going to charge right into somebody. We see that the missile arm and the other arm here are actually fairly large with their geometry, so they may serve as very nice shielders. We could march into battle, giving the person our left with the hero, and just absorbing fire on that left arm, twist back, blast them with our missiles, and then twist away, and just tank for a very long time with this design. But overall, I feel that this is a really good mech. Like, every single variant has jump jets, every single variant has ECM, and then it has some really good weapon combinations that you can do and kick some serious ass. I'm excited to see this mech come in, and I think people should buy it if they like a nice IS assault mech. Assault mech. Feels like an assault mech to me. IS heavy mech. But that is going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and good hunting.